Time for race 5 out of 12 today on Heats Day. It's race 2, Heat 2 for the Mini and Mini rookie drivers. Let's take you through the starting grid. Pole position, once again, it's going to be Victor Reitz, who will have Mayas Mezinas and Patrikas Jokius, who round out the top 3. Jeff Verbeek will start 4th, ahead of Zen Lindemann and Vic van Kampenhout. AJ Bergeraff and Vince van der Hallen will complete row 4, with Ryan Rivers and Jack Freeman completing the top 10. Arie Kallenberg, Pauline van Preetz, Ryan Rampadarath, Gage Moyes, Jesse Munnen, Jenthe Munnen, Tafin Iskinen, Arthur Farrow, Albert Farrow and Kimi May due to start in completing the top 20. Plamen Georgiev, Leon Herbos, Tristan Shays, Tristan Abils. Looks like problems for Devrim Mieta on the dummy grid ahead of Ava Lawrence, with Maria Roberto and Theo Steindal rounding out the 28-strong grid. And there has been a little bit of a development because Mayas Mezinas and Patrikas Jokius, for some strange reason, are not on the rolling, well, the sighting and the formation lap. So maybe they might be starting from the dummy grid. So for those watching at home, there's the picture-in-picture that you can see on your screens, where we have got Mayas Mezinas, Patrikas Jokius, and also looks to be Devrim Mieta that will be starting from the dummy grid. So they will have to fight their way up through the order after everyone else has gone through the start phase. So there will be gaps where it's due to be 2nd and 3rd, along with 25th on the grid. Red lights on the gantry once again ahead of 7 minutes plus an additional lap of racing around here at Karting Genk as the 177 of Ryan Rivers gets into position. So out of the final corner, revs will rise. They do so now. Lights are on. Lights are out. We are underway. And the drivers make their way through into turns 1 and 2. The other 3 have just been released from the dummy grid as it's 4 abreast. Everyone's squabbling for position. They can use the runoff area once on the opening lap, but after that, you will get a 5-second time penalty, especially if you claim an advantage by getting up underneath or around the outside of somebody else. As the whole field ferries its way through into turn 6 off of the Europlan. 2-3 wide at points. There is a battle for the race lead. I think maybe a couple of drivers might have broken formation as soon as the lights went out. Zen Lindemann now finds himself in 3rd position. Previously a champion of the BNL Karting Series. Good to see him back with the Power Kart Racing crew. Vic van Kampenhout rounds out the top 4, I think probably just being followed by Vince van der Hallen, who's in 5th, but it is Victor Reitz who leads from Jeff Verbeek in the 126, out of turn number 11, as they make their run down towards the final corner here at turn 12. So Gage Moyes, according to the live timing, has dropped all the way down to stone dead last. A disaster for the driver that would have started a little bit further up the order. 14th. There's the move for the race lead. Jeff Verbeek through on Victor Reitz, and there's Zen Lindemann, now waiting in the wings. Has been competing elsewhere. It's always good to have a returning driver back into the BNL. 5 minutes and 20 still to go. AJ Bergeraff now behind Vince van der Hallen, who's now up into P5. Great to hear from you, Nikita, saying that you're going to be joining us for the entirety of the 2024 BNL Karting Series season. For those wondering, that kicks off in 2 weeks' time, right here for round 1. We'll be heading to Marienborg. We'll also be heading to Kerpen in August, And then the final weekend of September, we come back here to complete the full circle. Move for second up the inside of Victor Royce. That's then Lindemann getting through for P2. Great work by the young Flying Dutchman. Now he can go and hunt the race leader, Victor Royce. Oh, no, not Victor Royce, who's behind him, actually. That's Jeff Verbeek. I have to give a shout out to Rick Houskens, good friend. We've had someone going very, very slow and is pulling off to the right-hand side of the circuit. That's yellow flags at turn 12. Bit of a bump between the 171 of AJ Berggraaf, who's ahead of Vince van der Halen in the 130. They are battling with Victor Royce for the final position in the top three. Out of turn 4, they go. So Cage Moyes is out. I think it might... Oh, it's Ryan Rampadarath, I fear. And it is the SP Motorsport driver. Unfortunately, out of the race, so we are down to 26 runners and riders. So Cage Moyes out. And that is a couple more positions lost by Victor Royce. He's down to 5th. Could be 6th. If Vic van Kampenhout on the Formula K chassis, mechanic by his dad, Stephen, gets through. Van Kampenhout looks to the inside of the run down to turn 10. Looks for the move, gets it done. Theo Steindal, in the meantime, the number 33 from Norway, now up to 15th. Started last. Leon Herbo's up from 22nd to 12th. Tristan Shays has absolutely rocketed up the order over the first half of the race. Up 14 spots to 9th. So Victor Royce has got Jente Moonen not too far behind. Mayas Mazinas has now managed to get all the way up to 14th place from starting from the dummy grid. Petrikas Jokas up to 21st. Devin Mieta currently sitting in 26th position as Jente Moonen now gets through on Victor Royce. So Victor Royce now demoted down to 7th place. And the next driver behind, who's just come through the shot in a little bit of a blur. There was a bit of yellow and blue. Of course, that is the livery on the Dan Holland Racing entry, the number 193 of Jack Freeman. With 2 minutes and 25 seconds to go, there's still plenty in the offing, because now Zen Lindemann is closing on the race leader. There we go. There's Jeff Verbeek. There's Zen Lindemann. What's the gap? It's less than a 10th. And Lindemann goes for the move up the inside, through into turns 1 and 2. Lindemann gets through on Verbeek. And that is the change that was needed. He was a second behind Verbeek after the previous lap, after lap 3. So great job there by Zen Lindemann. Started down in 5th, now up 4 spots. And has the race lead. And he's already started expanding it. That's a great job there by Zen Lindemann. Right. Oh, okay. Jeff Verbeek, I thought this might be the case, has just been hit with a 5-second time penalty for braking formation with all 4 wheels out of the tram lines. Jeff Verbeek was leading. And now that second place is going to be 5th, I think. And now there's going to be a change possibly for 4th. Vic van Kampenhout tries to go up the inside of Vince van der Halen through at turn 2. But that does not happen. 147 versus the 130, but through turn 4, that's going to be a different story. Vic van Kampenhout through nice and cleanly on Vince van der Halen. That's 4th place. "30 seconds on the timer remains in this second out of 3 Minimax and Minimax rookie heats. Leading in Minimax rookie, it is Jesse Moonen in the number 10, who's currently at the moment up 1 position from 15th on the grid to 14th. And now Vic van Kampenhout has got AJ Berggraaf in front along with Jeff Verbeek. Jeff Verbeek you have to count out of this equation but it was getting a little bit close to going sideways out of turn number 11. But we go on to the final lap. It's Zen Lindemann leading the way in the 116. Vic van Kampenhout has got the legs in the Formula K chassis on AJ Berggraaf. He's going to go to the inside at turn 2, and he's got the job done. Another great clean and clinical move, and there's second. Second on the road goes to Vic van Kampenhout as Jeff Verbeek makes a bit of an error. So Van Kampenhout, who started down in 6th place, he's now up 4 positions. He's in P2. He's striding away from Jeff Verbeek, who's got AJ Berggraaf looking to lunge up the inside through into turn 7 for 3rd place, and Vince van der Hullen gets through. And Jeff Verbeek at the minute with that 5-second time penalty. I'm going to wait. Well, I'm going to see what happens as to how far behind. Vic van Kampenhout has been on an absolute tear at the minute. 1 minute, 9.133. Fastest lap of the race, but it's going to be 2 different winners from 2 different heats. First heat, it was Victor Reitz. This time, it's Zen Lindemann from the Netherlands in the 116 for Power Kart Racing. He gets the victory by nearly 1.7 seconds. And what's more, Vic van Kampenhout closes the gap to nearly 1.7 seconds at the end of the final lap out of 7 and puts in a new fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 8.502. AJ Berggraaf, 3rd. Vince van der Hullen, 4th. Jeff Verbeek, 5th. His 5-second time penalty will demote him behind Jente Moonen, who will be promoted to 6th place. Victor Reitz finishes 7th ahead of Jack Freeman. Maias Mazinas and Patrikos Jokius, that's a great effort. From the dummy grid to 9th and 10th, respectively. Running out the top 20, it was Tristan Shays, Arthur Farrow, Ryan Rivers, Jesse Moonen, Ari Kallenberg, Blaman Georgiev, Pauline Van Preet, Theo Steindal, Maria Roberto, Leon Hobos rounding out the top 20. Taffy Niskanen, Tristan Abils, Albert Farrow, Ava Lawrence, Devram Yater, and Kimmy May round out the 26 finishers, with Ryan Rampadarath pulling off to the right-hand side of the circuit out of the exit of turn 11. And Gage Moyes, we lost on the opening lap in that multi-kart turn 2 incident.